with the recording. Okay, are you guys still there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, this is what I was saying. You say this line, it's an equation of an axis of symmetry, and it has a positive gradient. So, Moleboge, this is not the only way in which you can cut it into two equal halves. You can cut it into two equal halves in two ways. This is the first way to cut it, where you have a positive gradient. Another way of cutting it, you can still cut it like that. Remember, through the origin. So can you guys see this portion is exactly the same or equals to that portion. So this is now that line with a negative gradient. What makes it to be or have a negative gradient? It is because if you can see, it actually ends in the second and the fourth quadrant. I'm not sure if you now understand what is meant by an axis of symmetry. Bantu Bagit.
Sir, could you please explain what it is?
Okay, let me quickly re-explain. Remember, guys, we are not rushing to complete this question paper. Even if we don't complete it, what matters the most is that as we move along, we don't leave others behind. Very, very much important that you fully understand the concept rather than having a memo to a question paper. So, let's see. We are having a Cartesian plane. So, on this Cartesian plane, let's say we have maybe a hyperbola there and there. We have two ways in which you can cut this into two equal halves. The first way, through the origin, you just have that straight line. That is the first way. And this line, it always have a positive gradient at all the times. At all the times. So the other way to cut it into two equal halves is that line. And this one, it has a negative gradient. This line is what they call an axis of symmetry, just like with a slice of bread. Let's say this is a slice of bread. If you want to cut it into two equal halves, okay, Tapelo, unmute your mic, honorable member. Let's talk. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you agree that if you have to cut this slice of bread so that you and your little brother or sister don't fight, that's if you cut it right through in the middle like that. Do you agree?
I agree.
Yes, because these two sides are equal. So this line where you cut it is called an axis of symmetry. That's if you want to understand what an axis of symmetry is. So it's not only in this way in which you can cut it into two equal halves. Do you also agree that you can still cut it like this and it still has two? Do you agree there, the Matabze?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you also agree that if you cut it into a, let's say in that way, can you still achieve two equal halves?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay, what about this way?
It's it's also possible.
100%. So that means a slice of bread, it has 1, 2, 3. It means it has three possible axes of symmetries. Now, let's forget about the bread because we don't even have a peanut butter. So now, let's focus on something that has marks. The matabzeni, that means when we are looking at a hyperbola, how many axes of symmetry does it have?
It has 4.
Okay, so
Two.
the axis of symmetry are those straight lines. How many straight lines are we having there?
I think
I know. You know, guess.
4.
Just guess.
4 straight lines. I mean 2.
Okay. Remember, this is the y axis and this is the x axis. So it only has 1, 2 lines. So just always remember that Bantu Bagiti to say under hyperbola we only have 1, 2 lines that can cut a hyperbola into 2 equal halves. And this line that ends in the first and the third quadrant, it is the one that has a positive gradient. And this one that ends in the second and the, fourth quadrant, it has a negative gradient. I'm not sure if it makes sense, guys. Does it make sense there, what I'm explaining? Mm. Or am I losing you there, guys? Guys, am I losing you there?
No,
I
sir.
know, say you're fine.
Okay, so um, now what they actually want is that equation of a straight line that has a negative gradient. Here comes the question. Which line is it? Is it line number 1 or line number 2 that they are actually talking about? Because they specified. Which line are they
Line
talking about?
line number 2.
Yes. Yes. And because it is a straight line, a because it is a straight line, then you know that it actually has a negative gradient. I think I'll have to also do a special lesson where I focus on this. So that means you already know that you have y which is equals to negative x plus c. All that you need to do, it is to use this point in order to get the c value, and then from there you give the equation. So it's more like you're saying that at where a you are having 1 and negative 2, then you solve for c. So it's more like where you see y you put negative 2, you're having negative, there you are having 1 and then plus c, then you solve for that. It's more like you're having that. And then what is negative? That plus 1, I think it's negative 1. So that means an equation is y which is equals to negative x minus 1. So that means this is what they wanted. If they wanted a line that had a positive a line. Okay, maybe let me try to quickly redraw that line. So that line, it's actually, even though it won't be perfect because of that was a hand-drawn diagram. This is the line, an equation of a straight line that they are talking about, not dotted, but just a solid line. So this is the line of y, it's equals to negative x minus 1. And the minus 1, it is actually that one there where it cuts the y-axis. So it's more like you will have a negative gradient at one point, and that point is always this point of the intersection of the axis, of the asymptotes. Yes, of the asymptotes. It might not be easy to fully understand this question if you just joined my lessons recently and you have missed a lot of information that was shared on this type of a function. But maybe let me ask, are you guys having some light on that question?
Yes, sir.
So if they wanted a line with a positive gradient, that was going to be this line. It was actually going to be that line having a positive gradient. And for this one, it was going to be y, which is equals to, it was going to be positive gradient plus c at that same point of a being a 1 and negative 2. Then you just substitute. Where you see that is negative 2, where you see that it is what? It's 1 plus c. You take this to the other side, it becomes negative 3. So it's more like c is equals to negative 3. So your straight line equation was going to be y, it's equals to positive gradient minus 3. So this minus 3 is actually that point there where it touches the y-axis. So that means you will either have a negative gradient or a positive gradient. Then you use that point of intersection of those two broken lines to get the c value. Once you get the c value, you give an equation. It is as easy as that. I'm not sure if it makes sense, Bantu Bagiti. The reason why, let me quickly make this point. The reason why examiner had to say, write down an equation of the axis of symmetry. Can you see now? Axis of symmetry, that line that cuts that into two equal halves. And they continue to say, okay, of that function of f, that has a negative gradient. Very, very much. That has a negative gradient. That is why they had to say that has a negative gradient, because they know you either have one which has a negative gradient and one which has a positive gradient. So that means you need to be careful to understand whether they want the one with a negative gradient or the one with a positive gradient. The matabsin, are you having some light nyana nyana there, or are you still lost, honorable member? You tell me.
So,
Yes.
okay, I'm a bit lost where we got the gradient from, like M, where
What did you say there, Voisa?
the gradient M, like when we substituted all the values into the formula, where did M go?
Okay, so I will just also quickly confirm this and certify what I'm about to say. So this is what happens under that hyperbola. You will always have your M being either positive 1, then you have your x, then plus c, or you will have y, which is equals to negative 1 x plus c. So it's already like that. Then you need the point of intersection of those in order to calculate the C value. So that means the gradient will always be either positive 1 or negative 1. What makes it to be positive? That's if they say for the line that has a positive gradient, or for a line that has a negative gradient. Does it make sense? Vuyiswa?
Yes, sir.
Does it make sense to everyone, Bantu Bagiti? I'm pretty much sure that it does make sense. Here comes a tricky question. They say hence or otherwise. Determine the coordinates of a point that lies on F in the fourth quadrant, which is the closest point to A. Yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. These questions are heavy, Bantu Bakiti. These questions are heavy. You just need to have a better understanding of what is going on over there. Who wants to discuss this one with me? Discussing it means I'm going to guide you to understand it. Who wants to understand this question, Bantu Bakiti? Zozozo, do you not want to discuss with me today, honorable member? Kudala mina nawe sikhulumile Mzozozo. Angazi ukuthi awufuni ukuthi sikhulume noma cha.
Ngeke
Ngathi Mzozozo awufuni ukukhuluma nami. Mzozozo. Kudala uthi not today Mzozozo. Kudala outing ball. Okay. Ngizokhuluma ngiyedwa ke. Ngizokhuluma ngiyedwa. Okay. Let's see. They are saying hence. What do I know about hence? Hence means refer to the previous answer. So, what was my previous answer? Let me quickly pull that out. I think I can, yes, remove this and also remove that. I just want to create some space there. Okay, let me remove those. So, what was my answer for 5.0 for the previous question? I think, what was it? Guys, it's happening to my ink namhlanje. Okay, so 5.1.3. What was the answer there? Was it not y it's equals to negative x minus? Yes, this was the answer. So this is where I am, and they're saying hence or otherwise. So hence or otherwise means you can refer to this question or otherwise use any other possible method. So hence or otherwise, determine the coordinates of a point that lies on F. So when they say a point that lies on F, it means they're talking about a certain point that lies on F. Remember, this and that is the same function. It is exactly the same function, but in this quadrant. So now, which point are they talking about, Bantu Bagiti? Exactly which point are they talking? So they are saying a point that lies on F in the fourth quadrant. Voyiswa iku P, fourth quadrant, because this is quadrant number 1, quadrant number 2, quadrant number 3. Oh, this is the fourth quadrant. So that means a point that they are looking for, it is in this quadrant. And in this quadrant, I know that I've got positive x values and negative y values. So that means that point is going to be negative. Yes, positive x values, negative y values. So that means that point, it is going to be a positive x value and a negative y value. Okay, let me continue. So they're saying in the fourth quadrant, which is the closest to point A. Where's point A? There it's point A. But now, which point on that is closest to A? Let me quickly redraw that and explain to you guys what happens there. Let's say you are having that and you are also having that. And then you have that cuts that into two equal halves. And then this is the origin. Guys, you tell me, is it point number 1 or point number 2 or point number 3? Which is closest to the origin? Which point is it?
Point number 2.
Yes. Yes. Bantu Pakit, you tell me, is it point number 1, is it point number 2, or is it point number 3 that is closest to point number A for that question?
It's point number 2.
Yes. Moleboge, you tell me, since you are the earliest bait, what do you notice about point number 2, or that point which is closest to A? Isn't there something that you notice there, honorable member? Me, I notice something. What is actually going on at that point, or what can you say about that point? You can invite young sisters to assist in this case, honorable member. Just to say something about that point.
Okay, it's A. I get the point that the closest point that is closest to A, it's B, it's 2, but it's on the line that cuts the graph into 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Into
So
2 equal parts, isn't it?
you are correct, but just to add on to what you are saying, is it not where this hyperbola intersect with a straight line? Isn't that point a point of intersection?
It is a point of intersection.
So I'm not sure if you remember what happens at the point of intersection. Is it not where the two graphs are equal?
Yes, they are equal to each other.
So that means we can equate hence and that. I'm not sure if it makes sense, honorable member.
Yes, it makes sense. Isn't it our straight line graph and our f of x graph are equal at a point of intersection? So we can equate them because they are equal where they meet.
Exactly. I'm just not sure whether to say exactly my point or is it your point. Whose point is it, honorable member? But I think it's my point. Exactly my point. So that means at this point, that's where that graph of f, not sure what's happening with my markers, that's where that point of f, which is that over x minus 1 minus 2, it's equals to negative x minus 1. Anyone who's lost on this question, Bantu Bakit, because it's not really about showing you how to calculate that, but it's about an understanding of that question. But do you guys understand what is going on there, or am I losing some of you guys, honorable members? Lindiwe. Yandiswa. Hey, the Umis, are you there? Uthulile namhlanje, kwenze njani? I see there's Leslie. Leslie?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you please repeat? I do not understand the question at all.
Okay. There's honorable member who needs a re-explanation on the question. Okay. Let's see. So the question says, hence or otherwise, determine the coordinates of a point that lies on F. So when they say a point that lies on F, it means they want a certain point on F, and F is that one and also that one. So when this statement continues, they say in the fourth quadrant, Vuiswa asked a very good question to say, if we are having this, now which one is the fourth quadrant? Where are we starting to count? So in this case, where you are having that dotted line and also that dotted line, this is the origin. So the first quadrant, it is that one. This is the second quadrant. This is the third quadrant. And this is now the fourth quadrant. Can you see? So that means they are actually looking for a point on F. But in which quadrant? In this fourth quadrant. So now remember, this is that point A. This is that point A. So the question says, in this fourth quadrant, which is closest to point A. So it is that point, it is always that point where that axis of symmetry touches that. Leslie, I actually noticed something. It's more like Mzozozo. This is a smart way of examiner saying calculate the coordinates of the point of intersection of F and that axis of symmetry in the fourth quadrant. They're just trying to confuse you by saying a point which is closest to A. Because let me just try to make you guys understand something. If you have a dot there and you have this type of a shape, which point is closest to that point A? Obviously, it's where it makes a 10, which is that point there, because here it's curving, it's curving, it's curving, it's curving. This is where it makes a 10. And this is a point which is closest to that. So here, that means this is where it makes a 10 at that point. So that means if examiner talks about that point of intersection, that means the other way or the smart way of asking that question, that's if they say which is closest to a certain point, or which is closest to the point of intersection of the asymptotes. I'm not sure, Leslie, if you now have an idea of what is going on there. Is it not simple when I say examiners actually saying a point of intersection of F and that?
I'm understanding, sir.
Okay. The Omis, you are quiet today, honorable member. Are you sure
Yes,
we are
I'm listening.
together here?
Yes.
But are you following?
Yes, I'm following.
Let me check. Tabzain, are you sure you understand Vatran an Hiso? I'm not sure if Tapelo is still there, but let's continue. Let's see. Okay, so this means Moleboge said that's where those two are equal. So we are having that minus 2 equals to negative x minus 1. So can you guys see in grade 11 and 12, it's not about the calculation part. It's about you understanding what examiner wants. If examiner says, give me a chalkboard and you give him a dustbin, they see that you're not following instructions or you don't understand the question. If a question wants a yes or no answer, you will say yes only if you understood the question, if the answer to the question is a yes. So that is why I'm saying in this question, I'm not really interested that much into the calculation part, because I know someone is very much busy at this moment trying to work it out. And I can see them getting hammered and they are wondering, yes, I thought it was an easy calculation, but it seems a bit tricky. Maybe let's work it out so that you see how to solve this type. Okay, this is that over that minus 1 minus 2 is equals to negative x minus 1. What you can do, take this to the other side. You still have that. So that means when you take this to the other side, it becomes positive 2. Let me remove it, then say positive. So it's more like you are having a positive 2 minus 1. So it's as if you are having 1 minus x. I'm not sure if you guys understand that part. So this is where you can now cross multiply. This is over when you cross. So when you cross multiply, it's more like you're saying the whole of that multiplied by that. I'm not sure if you guys are able to see that. So let's see. It's more like you are having what is it? X minus 1 into 1 minus x, which is equals to negative 9, because you cross multiplied. Then you now speak Chinese. Da ba da da ba da da ba da da ba da. What is that? You're having da ba da being x, da ba da being negative x squared, da ba da being negative 1, da ba da being negative x. I think I got it correctly, which is equals to negative 9. Let's see. Is there something that we can work out there? I think these two, they give us something. I think we have negative x squared plus 2x. We have that minus 1 there. Maybe let's take this to the other side, then it becomes positive 9, which is equals to 0. But now, what are those two? What are those two giving? I think they give us 8, because it's 9 minus 1, which is equal to positive 8. But remember, we said when we are dealing with a quadratic equation, we always want to have a positive value. And for you to have a positive value, you change the signs of everything. That is why I'm going to change it from minus to positive, from positive to minus, from positive to minus 0, it remains as 0. That's where you can now factorize. Remember, guys, this is grade 10 stuff. That is why when you are in grade 11 and 12, you shouldn't be struggling to solve all of this, which is the reason why I'm saying, regardless of whether you are in grade 11 or 12, the moment you start seeing yourself struggling with this type of problems, that means you need to also join my grade 10 lessons. Because in grade 11 and 12, you don't struggle because your teacher is not teaching you enough. It's because you neglected these simple steps and you thought because you passed grade 10, then you are done or you understand everything. You don't. This is why I always remind you that in my case, I learned grade 10, 11, and 12. These 3 grades, I learned them in my grade 10. No, not 10, but grade 12. And also, when I was in grade 10, I had already started some stuff in grade 11. When I was in grade 11, I studied some stuff in grade 12. So that is why when I got to grade 12, I only did what was new, the new chapters which were added to the syllabus or to the grade. And then I studied everything in grade 12. That's why I was brilliant in mathematics and other subjects, including physical sciences. So the moment you see yourself struggling about, struggling to calculate this, just know you need to attend as many lessons as possible. You need to send an inbox to request to be added into the grade 10 classroom to attend the maths lessons. So that was me giving you guys a chance to get the factors and also calculate all of that. I see Muleboge is done, but she's shy to give her answers. What are the answers there, honorable member?
Oh, sorry.
I want your answers, honorable member. Hey, it seems like honorable member is still busy there. Voiswa, did you get the factors? I think this one is easy. This one is easy to factorize because you say what two numbers can give you 8 is 2 and 4. Yes, so you say XX is 2 and 4 can give you 8. But now we said the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. What is the middle term? It's negative. So for you to end up getting -8, that's if you have a positive there. You remember, guys, we've been preaching this since the beginning of this year. So that means you are going to equate this to 0 and you end up having x being equals to -2. This one equated to 0, you're going to end up having x equals to 4. So now you ask yourself, between these two answers, which one is correct? Or which one is the one that you continue with? And why are you choosing that one? I knew it. I knew it. Can someone guess what happened? I'm also not sure if you guys are still there.
Okay.
Are you still there, guys? I just want to quickly get my external light. Are you still there, Bantu Bagiti? Or is it breaking? Okay. Ningabaleki Bantu Bagiti. Don't say because it's dark, you can sneak out of the lesson. Nyeli jongile. Vuyiswa. Ungacabangi ubaleka lapho, ngikujongile ngazonke isikhathi. Let's see. Nazo. As long as it's not breaking, then just know that we are still on. I'm about to wrap up this lesson. Just in case if I start breaking, just know it's because of the issue of load shedding. And in that case, if it takes more than 2 minutes without me coming back, then you can all leave and we'll continue on our next lesson. So, but quickly, between these two values, which one is correct? Cynthia?
The negative one. X is equals to -2.
The Maumis, it doesn't end there. Can you tell us why the negative x value? Angithi, they say everything has got a reason. What is your reason?
Okay, let me check.
Anyone who would like to give it a guess, but you know, the nice thing about guessing these answers is because you will never forget when you are being corrected from wrong. Just say something, Bantu Bakit. Even if you say it's -4, and I say why, and you say it's because President of South Africa is Cyril Ramaphosa, you have right. I'm telling you, you have tried. Just say something, Bantu Bakiti. Mwana mameja, usasekhona lapho, uthulile namhlanje, kwenze njani? I'm not sure if Matapelo is still there. I'm sure she's watching Generations That Suck. Akutsephi wena Matapelo, kare ubhizi ulebeletse mazwi kuwe. Silence in court. Okay. I'm going to explain. The question said, in the fourth quadrant, you tell me, in the fourth quadrant, are we having a negative x value or a positive x value? That's how you decide Bantu Bakiti. Not that much complicated. Do you now get it?
Yes, sir.
The x value is positive.
It's positive x is equals to 4.
Yes. Yes. That means this point already we know that our x value is 4. So that means this one of -2 is not applicable. Why? Because they specify to say in the fourth quadrant. So that means this x of -2, Moleboch, it is that one that side. The reason why you had two possible x values is because this line, it touches the graph of f 2 times. That is why we're having two possible x values. So this -2, it is actually that one there. So this is -2. But examiner did not say in the second quadrant, but he said in the fourth quadrant. So now, how can we get the y value? Do you guys know or have an idea of how we can get the y value? I'm not sure if you guys ran away, or maybe the message is taking some time to deliver. In case if you got the question but you do not understand, you just say no idea. Then I'll be aware that you got the question but you've got no idea. But what I'm asking is, what did I say? Oh, I said because they wanted us to calculate the coordinates. The coordinates has the x and y value. So how are we going to find the y value? Moleboge, do you not want to give it a try? Because I think it's you who started all of this. Do you not want to end it?
Can't we go to the equation of x2 x squared minus 2x equals to 8, and then because we are looking for the y value, and say we say let x equals to 0.
Okay, so you see that one. Maybe let me remove all of this. Most you understood all of this. Everyone understood what we were doing there, isn't it?
Or can't we use
Okay.
anyway? I've just remembered the equation of f of x. The equation of f of x
Yes.
looking for the y value.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Remember, guys, at all the times where you have two functions touching each other, you equate them. After equating them, then you use any function that you like to determine the y value. Maybe let's write this Bantu Bakiti as part of our notes. At where two graphs intersect, ne? At where two graphs intersect, you equate to solve for x coordinate. Then after, use any function to find y coordinate. Yes, I think this is it, Bantu Bakiti. Just either take a screenshot. On a question, Matapelo. I'm not able to hear you, honorable member.
No, sir, screen as link to sharp.
Oh, Arekibo. Let me quickly. I'm scared to leave and come back because of the network issue. Maybe let me take a screenshot from my side and then I'll try to send it in the group. But this is what I'm trying to say, Matapel. I'm saying add where two graphs, not only for those, but add where two graphs intersect. What the equator, and then you solve for x coordinate. Then after you use any function to find y coordinate. So that means because we have equated these two and we solved for x coordinate, we found it to be 4. Then it means we need to use any equation between this one and that one. We use the simplest one to get the y value. So that means if you use this one, you will get the same y value as when you use that one. I'm not sure. Guys, do you understand this? Are you happy with this? Does it summarize that problem?
Yes, then when we use f of x, our answer is equals to -5 for the y value.
Is it everyone who's getting -5? Yes, you are correct. Because where we see x, we substitute 4. She substituted it there. So that means it's -4 minus 1, which is equals to -5. So even if you use this one, you still have to get that same answer.
Yes, that's the one that I've used. Then I've used the second one and I've got -5.
Yeah, so that means this was the easiest one to use. You can still use this one. And you still will get, I think this is -3. 4 minus that, no, it's +3. And then this divided by that, you get -5. No, negative what? -3. Yes, minus 2, it's equals to -5. Yes. Yes. But wait, guys, do you all understand that? Because this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. And on our next lesson, we will then have to continue with that last question. I think on the lesson that I'll be doing tomorrow, okay, no, it will be a different question. So that means on our next lesson, that's when we'll continue from that question to move on to that other type, which is exponential. So the whole of next week, we will finalize functions, and the next week, Saturday, that's when you'll be writing your maths test. So for those of you who missed my previous lessons, just make sure that you catch up. In case if you don't know how to, send me an inbox just to get ready for your test. Even if you missed many lessons, just make sure to participate. It doesn't matter whether you get -100 over 100%. That's how we are able to understand where you're struggling and be able to assist you better. I think after functions, we'll move on to something else. The aim is to try and cover everything before May, so that after May, we just do a repetition of what we have done, but treating different question papers. So that means I want you guys to do this grade 2 times. It's more like you do it until May, then we assume you failed, and then you repeat it. Once you've repeated it, then it means you stand a good chance of improving your marks. So, is it everyone who understands that, Bantu Bakit? Or am I the only one? Or is it me and Moleboge who understands what we have done there?
Iyazama uku-understanda sir.
I think Mzozo Uti we understand. Last one to confirm. Matapel. Nakia Jamakazur Bagdoska Jakamitsin now. Kazabar Mulevo Hena Ajikamitsin. But wait, Vuiswa, did you understand, honorable member? I'm about to sign out. Did you understand? Leslie Tabze, Lindiwe, let's see, Dema
Yes,
Umis.
sir.
Okay, in that
Yes, sir.
case, uh, the
Thank
code for
you.
today, guys. The code for today, just send letter D in the group. Letter D for Desmond without a dot. So to the new learners, you just comment in the group with letter D. It shows that you attended today's lesson because you know what the code for today is. Next time it will be a different code. So that was our code for today. That's how you mark attendance register. Guys, thanks very much for joining. My name is Desmond, and I'm out.